How are you today, Robert?
Hey,
Good to
not
talk
bad,
to you.
Scott. Yeah, how's the battle going?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, that's
It's
good to
great.
hear.
There's just more anomalies in the Apollo records than you can ever shake a stick at, eh? There's just no end to them.
No, you got that right. Especially here at time 168:44:04:117 on Apollo 17. So let's just take a look at this.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing that the camera operator is able to spot this and zoom in when it's quite a very large object and it's sitting back up on that hill. Nothing that the Apollo missions had anything that size to start with. And of course, even though the astronaut is blocking the view right now, the camera operator is staying focused on that as soon as he moves out of the way to show it off. And there it is again. That's quite a large piece. Nothing that they could have brought with them could be that large. I think at that distance is probably larger than the LEM.
And they're claiming that this is 10 meters away.
Oh, that's absolutely ridiculous.
They don't even know what it is. He's actually calling this an anomaly, while one of the other astronauts is claiming that it's a flag.
Well, if it's only 10 meters away, then they're on a closed set.
Yeah, and he's really interested in it.
If they're on the lunar surface, that's a couple of kilometers away.
Oh, absolutely. But he's fixated on this object, whatever it is. I mean, they don't even know what it is. It's not a piece of space junk either. They're talking about that, which I'm going to roll that clip in a few seconds so that you can see and hear the audio, what they're saying. So, without further ado, let's roll that clip and listen carefully to what these guys are saying.
SCSE, huh?
Roger, but we have to have the
I don't
wheels
know if we
roll.
can do that. We can try it.
We want the wheels rolling in 4 minutes, so I don't think it's practical at this time.
Bob, we cannot get an SCSE in 4 minutes.
Okay, cover that. Copy that.
Same time. Now I got to push this latch on a gate to get it locked, on a pallet to get it locked. Need some help? Push the pallet while I trip the latch, will you? I got to trip the latch. There's so much dust in that cord.
Okay, 17, what's out there in the distance on a hillside in the field of view of the camera? The camera's pointing at it. Oh, I bet that's the
What's out there in
Italian.
the distance?
That's
Which hill? Let me see where
That's the flag, I bet. On the charge.
Yeah, but it's all... You're looking right at it, but it's only 10 meters away.
Okay, it's hanging in front of the hills. That's the
You're looking
problem.
right at the flag.
Okay, it's hanging in front of the hills. We thought we had an artifact or something like that. Okay, press on.
But this is ridiculous. Look, he's still zooming in on it. He's still on it.
Yeah, it's not moving. It is large. It almost looks like it's suspended, but I believe that the hills that they're showing there are blocking part of the view of it. I had mentioned before that that section there where they were building the set is an actual access point to their stage.
And the other thing that is very strange is that they're not particularly interested in it. All they do is call it an anomaly, and that's it. And then all of
Yeah.
a sudden he starts zooming back, and the interest is gone. And then it goes black.
Yeah, well, they
Right.
didn't pay attention to it. I think the cameraman was the one paying the most amount of attention to that.
And if you think that's good, let's have a look at the astronaut with no bubble helmet on.
Oh, well, it's just probably getting too hot out there. They would have had to loosened off their gloves so that they get a bit of air blowing through their suits, and every chance they would have, they'd be opening up the visor on their helmet to get some fresh air in there and take some of the heat away. And of course, to open up the outer helmet, just the shielding on that, they wouldn't be wearing the inner bubble helmet. Yes, Apollo 17 really likes to show their stuff off, and I can well imagine that after a number of years of rehearsal and simulation on the set with these same guys working, they were quite relaxed during these simulations that they were doing. And of course, they're going to be leaving more and more evidence. They're going to be less sloppy. Nobody'd be able to control them. But when you see somebody walking around with the helmet wide open like you're seeing in this video, and that's Harrison Schmitt right there, you can see his forehead comes right out and touches the outer shielding on the thing. There is no inner liner on that helmet whatsoever, just the outer abrasion helmet with the two shields on it, and he has both of them wide open. You can see the microphone from his Snoopy helmet is sitting there. It's protruding right out on top of where the shields close. His nose is out there, his cheek is well out past right out, and his chin is touching the abrasion helmet itself, and there's no way that would happen. Absolutely no way that would happen if that inner bubble helmet was in there. And of course, if they were on the lunar surface, you wouldn't be able to depressurize the suit in any way, shape, or form.
When I adjust the levels, you can't see the bubble helmet in there, no matter what you do.
Because it's not there. But I'll bet you he was back there and did not know that the camera was pointed at him and focused in that closely. He was probably up on that hill trying to get some fresh air and cool down a little bit, and he turned around for the camera, and the camera was right on him. And anybody from NASA, of course, wouldn't be looking at it that closely. They'd be more interested in just doing their little scanning and uploading to the internet to provide incredible amounts of content to fool the world. I'm sure somewhere in NASA they were actually trying to overcome some of the difficulties, but at the same time they had to have a crew out there to pull off the simulation.
And another thing, you notice the rainbow effect. It's really bad in this.
Oh, it's all over the place, and that's just atmosphere. You can't have a rainbow effect. You can't split the light unless you've got an atmosphere to split it in. So many things that were overlooked. They had very little time. They spent very little money in comparison to do the simulations as they did trying to get a rocket off the ground. Except they've spent 50 plus years trying to cover it up. And that's taken more energy than they ever could imagine. You get that large anomaly sitting in the background that nobody can explain. I mean, that thing's as big as a tanker truck. You got Buzz Aldrin leaning up against the door frame. You've got a wet flag to deal with. You've got a junkyard with pieces of metal, spark plugs on the ground, pieces of metal sticking out of rocks everywhere. There's ropes, there's chains, there's all kinds of stuff. Large pieces of equipment that are barely covered over. There are tires to hold up the hillsides where they put the craters in so they didn't slide down.
You name it, it's out there.
Yeah, and they still don't have a suit to go anywhere yet. They canceled the latest suit. The capsule's canceled. There's no lander. There's no anything, right? Don't have a rocket powerful enough to get it off the ground. Just unbelievable. And of course they had fueling problems on even a test on the thing the other day. So Robert, I gotta tell you, it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable.